Had to make your way. You had all the time, right from the first day. The first time that you want it, just you get home. The best about my heart while I'm alone. I don't like being alone. The things you did to find the love is never done before. My face changes in my head. I don't feel the same no more. It's shown. There's something in my heart while I'm alone. I don't like being alone. Yeah. Let's take the time you left me, girl, and burning up inside. Something I can't see no more. That's something that's right. Please believe me. I don't like being alone. Now, baby. I can't stand it. Come on, y'all. None of us like being alone. You got to do something about it. Well. Give it to me. Hey. Well, I'm so glad that I could actually reach you folks today. Working at BlurCon this weekend. Pictures coming soon. Good God Almighty. Let me tell you, my team and myself are the baddest motherfuckers walking this earth because who else gets to protect the King of Wakanda, the Jedi Master who actually rescued Grogu, and 2 OG Power Rangers, and somebody on Starfleet. Whoo! Man. Oh, man. I'm looking at some of the pictures now. This one chick who dressed up as Cammy. Good God Almighty. God damn. Body like a goddess. Now, I know that I'm a little late because I've been working security, commanding a security force and doing some executive protection. Even though I didn't do as much as I usually would do when I left it into the hands of capable people on my team. Still had to post security, had to deal with some shit. Wonderful experiences at BlairCon. Hopefully, we'll go to more things as well. If anybody wants to skinny, hit me up offline. Um, I'm gonna say this, and for those of you who question my background, when speaking of such subject matters, spent 10 years with the U.S. Army, 18 months in Iraq, part of the QRF team over there. In the first 6 months, we had over 354 missions. Came back home to Baltimore, joined the Baltimore Police Department. Was there for 14 years in patrol of the Northern District. I handled calls from anywhere and anything in between, from petty disagreements or arguments all the way up to homicides. I am certified in executive, high-profiled celebrity protection. I am certified in corporate security management through Executive Security International. A little bit of my credential work. So I maybe, probably, somewhat know what I'm talking about. So let's dig in. The entire assassination attempt was nearly a historical global level fuck up. You might want to share this with people, because I'm going to go in. You nearly changed the course of history and the world with the amount of fucking up that went on. Sorry. And what's up, Josh? What's up, AB Media? Just got off the phone with him. Malika? Andre? I'm going to explain something to you. When President Obama came to Baltimore, every manhole cover was sealed. Every building downtown was checked. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just be blunt. Where a guy tried to snipe Trump, they usually should have had somebody right there on top of that structure. I'm sorry. That should have been covered. You're looking at all these celebrities and everybody else. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go deeper to that. Let's before I go to anything else. And what's that? What's up, Mel? For anybody who's saying I don't know what I'm talking about, that should have been a structure that one of the Secret Service snipers should have been on. That should have been one of their platforms they should have been on. For those who think this was rigged or this is fugazi, do you know how fucking accurate you have to be to hit a person's earlobe and not kill them? My father and myself could probably hit a target at 300 to 500 meters. We're not that sure if we could just hit a person's earlobe. KP from KC5 said facts. I've seen a video today on Major Torres' channel with a sniper saying exactly what you just said, Charles. So does that give KP what I just said? That actually means I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And even KP said he saw it on another channel. Right there should have been a platform another Secret Service sniper should have been on. Let's just put that out there. That should have been covered by one of the Secret Service snipers. And we're going to be totally honest about this, right? Don't forget to hit a like button when you're coming in, folks. Hit the like button. Share it. If you feel inclined, put a little something in the Cash App. Fuck it. That platform should have been controlled and taken care of by Secret Service alone. I'm just going to say this. You can never have enough snipers. You can never have enough. That should have been one of those platforms they should have had total control of. Secret Service and the local PD usually have an agreement. The Secret Service handles the inner perimeter. The local PD handles the outer. That was kind of like, the beginning of the outer perimeter. They say in the reports 1 minute and 35 seconds, approximately, that guy was on that roof. Why? And I do mean, why? Was there no quicker action taken? Now, when it comes to controlling the outer or inner perimeter, it has to be done so usually aggressively. Why? Because you don't know what that person's intent truly is. If there's a person that the audience or the civilian population said that man has a gun, my gun is already out. while walking to that suspect. And allegedly, because new information is coming out every minute, allegedly, to be uniformed Secret Service, you need a high school diploma. To be the non-uniform and the suit, you need a college degree. And to be an agent, you need a college degree. They all go through the same training. It's not about the level of education. It's about the level of grit, the level of stick to itiveness, the level of gumption, the level of audacity. When there's somebody telling you that that person has a gun, you're going to have to be very aggressive about that, especially when you have a former, current, or potential world leader in your protective custody. Allegedly, local law enforcement climbed the ladder up to that platform or that building garage. I don't know what the hell it is. And I'm going to use the terminology allegedly because there's new information coming out every minute, every second, every day, and every hour. To go up to that platform to engage the suspect. Apparently, well, excuse me, once again, allegedly, someone stated that the suspect pointed a weapon at the officers. They went down the ladder and did not engage the suspect. So even though the guy tried to point the gun at him, he did not engage the suspect. To let you know, the Secret Service is a federal law enforcement agency. A federal law enforcement agency. And guess who they're under? No, not Homeland Security. They're under the Treasury Department. Because before they were given the job of protecting the president, they were in the Treasury arresting people for counterfeit. So they go through federal training. They go to Quantico. They go to Flexi in Georgia. And they get specialized training on how to evacuate. They have executive protection training, high risk training. You go through SWAT school, you go through sniper school, negotiations. What's up, Nua? It's a law enforcement agency that has basically a blank check. When you're dealing with the president, their family, the vice president, anybody in the line of succession, former presidents and their families. Um, I'm going to go to Wikipedia real quick so I can answer this man's question. Secret Service training. So they go through a plethora of training.
Who
Excuse me for a minute. I just posted a video of the type of training, the Secret Service, and type of jobs. Don't forget to give that shit a like. I just posted a video. It's basically detailing. It's called General Discharge. They do a lot of law enforcement, military, Q&A. And it'll show you the type of training. They get a very extensive training. I don't care what nobody says. Trump's 6'3", one of the tallest presidents we ever had. Maybe the tallest. I'm not going to have a 5'3" woman guarding him. Sorry. Call me sexist. My client is 6'3". How is she going to cover him? How is she going to drag him to safety? You got to think about these factors when you're protecting people. If I'm protecting a basketball player, I got to be able to manage him, or a football player. Good question. T. Riddler asks at Charles Faulkner Jr. Legally, can the president or the president-elect recruit and bring his own private security team, or must he strictly rely on the Secret Service? I'm pretty sure he can do what he wants to a certain degree. To a certain degree, he could probably bring some people he trusted and put them in some good positions. But legally, he has to rely on Secret Service. He has to rely. George Washington was 6'2". He wasn't super tall. He was way taller than people of his time. He probably looked like a goddamn giant standing next to people, but George Washington was 6'2". Trump's one of the tallest presidents we had. Tallest presidents we had was Washington, Lincoln, and Trump. I think Obama's like 6'2". I'm going to read off some stuff off of Wikipedia about the Secret Service. Their annual budget is $3.2 billion. They have over 8,300 employees. It was formed July 5th, 1865, so it existed 159 years. Now, the Department of Homeland Security controls Secret Service, but until 2003, it was part of the Department of Treasury, even though you still call them for that shit. They have over 116 field offices and resident offices. They have 20 overseas offices. Now, we're going to go into the training. Because that's what everybody wants to talk about is the training. Training. Special agent, Secret Service agent executing protective operations. The Secret Service agent position is highly competitive. In 2011, the service accepted less than 1% of its 15,600 special agent applicants. At a minimum, a prospective agent must be a U.S. citizen, possess a current valid driver's license, be in good physical health and good physical conditioning, possess visual acuity no worse than 2100 uncorrected or correctable to 2020 in each eye, be between the age of 21 to 37 at the time of appointment, but eligible veterans may apply past the age 37, usually to about the age of 40, 41. In 2019, the Office of Personnel Management issued an implication guidance on Isabella versus the Department of State court decision on the OPM letter. Of course, you have to get a top secret clearance, sensitive, a TS slash SCI, top secret sensitive compartmented information clearance, must undergo extensive background investigation, obviously, to in-depth interviews, to include in-depth interviews, drug screening, of course, medical diagnosis, and full scope polygraph examination. Yes. Special agents receive training in 2 locations, totaling 31 weeks. The first phase is the Criminal Investigator Training Program, which is conducted at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, aka Flexi, in Glencoe, Georgia, where a lot of your fucking places are going. A lot of your VA police, your many of your federal law enforcement agency, U.S. Marshals, they go to Flexi. Then after they complete their basic federal police officer or law enforcement training, after they finish that at Flexi, they usually go to different places to specialize on what they're going to be doing. Flexi lasts about 13 weeks. The second phase is a special agent training course, which was conducted at the Secret Service Academy, the James J. Rowling Training Center, just outside of D.C. in Laurel, Maryland, lasting about approximately 18 weeks. A typical special agent career path, depending on performance, and promotion that affects individual assignments begins with the first 6 to 8 years on the job assigned to a field office. Applicants are directed to list their office location preference during the application process. Upon receiving a final job offer, usually having several locations to choose from. So they get extensive training. Just to give you a little background, just to give you a little background, just to give you a little background on the Secret Service. So, going back to my initial statement, there were a couple of clusterfucks that happened. And I'm not one to shit on law enforcement, the military, unless they need to be shitted on. But that was almost a history altering event. That was not good. No former or current head of state should even be looking at a bullet grazing at them. I think this is the first assassination attempt in the open like this since Reagan, I believe. Just one head tilt. One head tilt. And the man's brains would have been splattered on people. This is cluster. This is almost unforgivable. There's gonna be a lot of heads rolling because of this shit. You're showing this is I just got off the phone with AB Media. This is some third world country, Medellin cartel bullshit. Okay? Not one goddamn time when you look at that threat assessment, did anybody say we need to put a sniper where the fucking enemy sniper could be? Come on now. Well, the Bush senior, but I don't really call that an assassination attempt. I think that was just basically trying to embarrass him. Well, the Bush Junior shoot throwing, but the Bush Senior thing, they might have tried there, but there was a lot of footballs. There were a lot of fucked up situations there. Because I remember when Obama was just president elect, manhole covers were sealed. You couldn't rent, literally. People couldn't be in their office buildings. They were rooftop snipers everywhere. So when we look at the amount of money, the amount of resources this organization has, that should have never happened. But the best things about situations like these is that you can build upon them and learn from them. Gundam Nataku 00 said, Charles Sauter Jr., do you think there should be an internal investigation on the Secret Service detail for that day? There is right now ongoing an investigation on that whole Secret Service on that day. There is one. That's too big of a global, universal fuck up that you're not going to have the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, and Homeland Security curling up everybody's ass to see where the fuck did this, how the fuck did this go wrong? How the fuck did this go wrong? There are so many alphabet fucking groups going through this shit right now. Hey, Kareem. Who's so love the avatar? You look like Black Simon Boulevard. I heard she came from corporate America, the director of the Secret Service. Does she have law enforcement background? Well, I'm on Wikipedia, so let's see. Ah, gotta love technology. Kimberly with this Chattel or Cheeto, whatever her name is. Kimberly A. Chattel, or is an American law enforcement officer who served as the 27th director of the Secret Service since September 2022. She had previously held multiple roles in the Secret Service for over 25 years. Well, she was involved with the evacuation of Vice President Dick Cheney on 9 11, served as Biden's protective detail during the Obama administration when she was assigned to the Vice President Protective Division. 2017, she served as Deputy Assistant Director. She also served as Special Agent in Charge in the Grand Rapids, Michigan office. She became the first woman to serve as Assistant Director of Protective Operations, a department tasked with protecting the president and dignitaries and managed a budget of over $133.5 million. So she's got an extensive background. She's been an agent for like what, 25 years? She first joined the Secret Service in 95. See, this is the reason why. Let me see. From 2019 to 2022, she served as senior director of global security at Pepsi Corp. Where she was responsible for directing and implementing security protocols for the company's facilities in North America. Her role involves developing risk management assessments and risk mitigation. You got to remember, she was head of security for fucking Pepsi. Why was she head of security? Because she was protecting the fucking leaders of the free world. Your resume follows you. In 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden awarded her the Presidential Rank Award for exceptional performance. In August of 2022, Biden announced the appointment of Chattel to be director of the Secret Service, and she assumed office September 17th, 2022. She took over the Secret Service following a turbulent couple of months in which the agency, best known for protecting presidents, had to face controversies related to January 6th attack on Canton. During a Newsweek interview in May of 2023, she stated that the Secret Service, which had a 48% departure rate, needs to attract diverse candidates and give everybody opportunities to the workforce, particularly women. Oh boy. She said the aim to have 30% women in the agency by 2030. So, answers anybody? She said Elizabeth Warren to me. God damn. So, she has a very extensive background. They even said on July 13, 2024, during the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, it's already Wikipedia, folks, in Butler, Pennsylvania. Cheetah was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the 2024 Republican National Convention was held. In the wake of the shooting, Cheetah acknowledged the failure of the Secret Service, calling it unacceptable. However, Cheetah told ABC that she would not resign from her position. Hmm. Like, what can you say? My bad. Strategically, I know it's an iconic picture now. Strategically, you cover your body, you cover that man's body with your body, and you drag him off. Even if you have to roll him off the stage, you cover his body or you drag him quickly off the stage. Because now you don't know if there's a second shooter. And somebody else can take a second shot. So I'm going to tell you, You got to be able to drag that person to safety if necessary. You got to be strong enough. You got to be quick enough. Now, oh yeah, I said that before. Even with the Big Bertha thing, you're gonna need somebody with some agility, some movement, and she's not it. Let me see. What's up, Kareem Austin? I got Kareem and I got Kareem. I'm gonna tell you that whole fist pump thing, the whole power to the people, the fist, the black power fist. No, you should have dragged his ass off of there. Sorry. First thing we did was get him back into the limo, and we checked for wounds. I'm still wondering, why would you even trust on her back? Why would you? I think it was a waste of resources. I think it was a waste of timing. I think people get fired. I think people get fired, transferred, and reprimanded today. I think a lot of people probably got reprimanded today. I'm just wondering, for all those people who set up a stage, how? Do you think people are that good to allow a bullet just to hit their ear? I'm just really wondering, how was it staged? Give me an idea. Well, Trump was going to be president anyway. It was after the fuck. What sealed it wasn't this. What sealed it was the goddamn presidential debate. They were moving slow. My father and myself could hit targets from 300 to 500 meters. I don't think I'm as good enough to hit a person in their ear from that distance. All right, let's talk about that one. You had Amanda Seals talking about, I lived in this plot and I know what gunshots sound like. Maybe you do have autism because obviously you're saying some stupid shit lately. I'm just going to be out there. I'm also a firearms instructor. Different rounds sound differently being fired out the muzzle of a different round. Especially, let's see, how far was he? Oh, yeah, by the way, a 50-year-old man was killed in the audience. Two were critically injured. Trying to see what's the distance he had. Um, Under 200 yards, huh? Hmm. Still a good distance, even with a scope. Still a good distance. They said Crooks borrowed his father's rifle, a DMP MS Panther Arms produced AR-15 style rifle, 16-inch barrel, chambered in 5.56. Describes as an average rifle of its type, affected at the range that was intended by Crooks. And then he brought 50 rounds of ammunition for the gun. Ah. Hmm. He climbed on top of the roof of a building, and he's about 400 feet, 120 meters north of the stage. Mm-mm. Wow. I'm just looking at this whole shit. There is something that doesn't make sense about this. He was so damn close. About 133 feet. If it's 400, excuse me, yards. It's 400 yards, 133 feet. I mean, it was 400 feet, 133 yards. I'm sorry. Gundam Nataku, do people understand this says to our enemies with all the world conflicts going on right now? How the hell what the hell about our allies? Exactly. So you're telling me from that distance, 5.56 is within that effective killing range. This guy knew what the range and capabilities of his rifle, and he was about to show the world what it was all about. And by the way, I'm going to make this very public. If you're laughing at President Trump being shot, I'm going to say it. You're a sick son of a bitch. And it's not just because he's a former president or he's running to get in the office again. Is he not somebody's father? Is he not somebody's husband? Is he not somebody's grandfather? What is that with your mother? Hmm. I'm just wondering. A lot of people laughing at this shit, but that what if that was your father, your brother, your significant other, your grandfather, and the world almost witnessed this man's cerebral cortex getting a little bit more room. I just want people to realize this. This shit's not a joke. According to WPXI, Crooks was photographed twice by security officers prior to the event of the shooting. Prior to 5:45 p.m. EDT, a police officer saw Crooks on the ground and reported him with a photograph as a suspicious person. An officer searched Crooks, but not find anything on him. Hmm. I'm just reading up all this shit, man. This is wild. The police who photographed Crooks saw him scoping out the roof and carrying a rangefinder. Ah, give me a woo in the chat. If you see a motherfucker with a rangefinder, wouldn't that be an indicator of stop that nigga? Approach that motherfucker? Why are you here? According to Forbes, in one of the two cases of, let me say, I already read that. Reports indicate that several bystanders also witnessed a man carrying a rifle on a rooftop and alerted police about him nearly a minute and a half before shots were fired at Trump. Mm. You telling me that you physically see this guy with a rangefinder, you don't stop and investigate him? A Butler Township police officer attempted to climb the roof of the building and search for Crooks. Hoisted by another officer, Crooks spotted the officer while the officer's hands were clinging to the edge of the roof and aimed his rifle at the officer. At this point, the officer let him go, falling 8 feet to the ground, severely injuring his ankle. Oh boy. Mm, mm, mm. Let me see. Ah, let's get to the good part. The officer, at this point, the officer let go, falling 8 feet to the ground, severely injuring his ankle. Crooks undertook the assassination attempt immediately following the confrontation with the police because he knew he was dead. Wow. Trump arrives on the stage at the rally around 6:03 p.m. A few minutes into his speech, approximately 6:11, Crooks fire 8 shots into the rally. 8 shots, people. You see the guy up on the roof and you let go. I understand. But how did he get up there? Hmm. Crooks hit Trump and 3 rally goers before being killed by a sniper from the U.S. Secret Service counter sniper team seconds later. As the shots were heard, the rally attendants yelled "duck." Hmm. Wow. Trump was injured in his upper right ear. He raised his hand to his ear before dripping drops of blood, dropping down on the podium behind for cover. Secret Service agents lunged towards Trump and shielded him. After about 25 seconds, I'm sure. After about 25 seconds, the agents helped Trump to get up, which by this time the blood was visible in Trump's ear and face. According to Trump, the agents hit me so hard my shoe fell off. The lip spreader, the lip reader stated that Trump said, "What? Blood on my face?" indicating that someone told him that he was bleeding. Trump told the Secret Service's agents to wait and raised his fist and pumped it to the crowd and shouted, "Fight, fight, fight." Let me see. Yep, he was walked off stage, told the Secret Service to wait, raised his fist, fight, fight, fight. The crowd responded with cheers and chants of USA. Trump was then escorted to a vehicle and taken off to a nearby hospital. Trump credited a large chart of displaying immigration statistics with saving his life. Excuse me. Yep. Immediately before the first shot, he turned his head to the right towards the chart and pointed to it. The movement narrowed the profile of the Trump's skull towards the direction of the shooter, probably saving his life from a gunshot wound to his head.
Trump later said, if I hadn't pointed to the chart, my head would have been and turned my head to look at all. That bullet would have went right into my head. What the fuck? Victims, obviously, former President Trump. Corey, contemporary, age 50, was killed. Rodney Jackson was critically injured. It was Josh Shapiro. Hmm. Wow. So many critical mistakes. You should have took the man straight off. You should have just covered his body and dragged him straight off there. But preventive maintenance is worth everything. They should have came on the radio and said, "We have somebody on the roof. Get him out of here." If he's like 143 yards away, none of the snipers could have seen him. Fubar. That means they were looking past and out where he was. I'm just kind of shocked without words. Andre said, I seen a few posts of white women on Facebook who made posts saying they wish he got deleted. They all got fired, lol. Like, why would you want to see a guy who's well enough to be a grandfather, if not great grandfather? I mean, why would you be excited to see that shit? Regardless of how you feel about the guy, regardless about what's your ideology politically, does his children deserve to see him killed on global television? There's a lot of dropping of the ball, and more information is coming out about it. I'm sorry. It's not cute. I don't care what anybody says. It's not cute. They're too worried about making racist comments on their Acon accounts to forget to secure the president. Can't blame DEI on this. What are you talking about? See, this is what happens when you got people laughing, joking. You know what? That weirded me out a little bit. See, man with a family. And then, like you said, Donnie Mac, prayers to the family of the fallen and other injured people there too as well. I'm still wondering where any compassion's made for a person who nearly was seconds away from dying. And then you had a guy who was a husband with kids actually die on a scene. I want you to really think about this. We became so low as society that we're cheering on people being hurt. We're cheering on historical events that can literally change the course of history for the world. And we got idiots talking about those weren't gunshots. Well, those motherfuckers were ducking, weren't they? I'm gonna open up for a little bit, see what everybody else's take is on it. But to tell me that it's staged, that's fake as shit.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. Go
yeah.
ahead, fellas. Introduce yourself.
What up, everybody? Shadow Star, Brian Snow. How is everybody?
Yo, what's up, Wolf man? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, this is
Hey.
a whole. It's already been said. This is a whole shit show. I
Now-
mean, there's no excuse for not having any Secret Service on that roof as close as it was to the platform Trump was speaking on. There's no excuse for that.
Now, does anybody want to ask me a question?
Yeah,
What would Charles Faulkner would have done? I'd have took command of every goddamn elevated post within 200 yards, maybe 3.
yeah, for sure, bro.
If I know Charles as well as I do, 300 yards.
I do have a question. Charles.
Mhm.
I put it in the chat already. According to national news reports, he let Crooks, I guess is how you say his name, he let off 6 to 8 rounds. We know where 4 of the rounds went. What happened to the other 2 to 4? Did they just outright miss?
Who knows?
That's a damn good question. I won't be up here long.
Yeah, me neither.
I got something of my own coming at the top of the hour. And if y'all, I will just say this. If y'all thought I was emotional before, you ain't heard nothing yet. That's all I will say.
This is what you call one of the most egregious fuck ups in recent history.
That's the truth.
My thoughts on the female Secret Service behind Trump: reactionary.
Mhm.
People are gonna duck when they hear bullets, so it's reactionary.
You know,
Oh, she was hiding behind him?
I
I
think
didn't
the
know
reason
that.
is the reason why that they have this fervor of these people who are just like, oh, it's fake, and man, you know, we wish they would have hit them and all this stuff. You know, reason why they doing that now, they've been doing it, and they just think that now they can still get away with it. But you see, they starting to cancel people's shows, people getting fired because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you cannot do that, man. That's come on, man. You know, I wouldn't say that if Joe Biden, you know, cranked out and fell out tomorrow and had a heart attack, I wouldn't be celebrating that man's death, even though I might not agree with him politically. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, a lot of people who will celebrate his death. I'm not saying personally know them, but we just know how society is set nowadays.
Mm.
Let me get out.
We're a very divided nation right about now, man. I've never seen a country this divided.
I
Well,
have
it's
the year
on
was
purpose.
1984. I didn't have a real clue about it yet, but I got one. Let me get out of the way. I'll see y'all at the
Are you,
top of the hour.
are
Maybe a
you
little
going? What time are you going on?
eight. I'll say 8:15 because I need to be close to my wife before I let loose the emotion I have right now. And I will tease the gentleman with a question. Have you ever gone through a period of time where even though logically you know some stuff is not your fault, you still feel that it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's black folks, period, man. That's
That,
black people.
that's
That's how we
especially
are.
that's especially been me the last 4 days. I'll tell y'all why at 8:15.
Wow.
Okay, I'll try to be there.
All right, brother.
I'll make sure I get the link out and everything in a little bit. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
peace
Now,
out, man.
what are questions that anybody on the panel and chat is burning for me to know?
Man,
Did you hear my first question, Charles?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear your first question. What was it?
Um, according to the national news, and I'm taking their word on this. I know you got to take everything the news says, local or national. You got to take it with a grain of salt. But they said Crooks let off 6 to 8 shots, and we know what four of them are accounted for because there's one deceased man, 2 injured, and then Trump's ear. What happened to the other 2 to 4 rounds? Did they just outright miss?
They probably outright missed because that's a rifle. And until something stops it, that rifle could go far. I mean, it could launch a 5.56 projectile 800 yards.
Yeah, he was about, what did they say, 242 yards away, something like that.
Oh, 100, well, 140 yards, 140.
Oh, even closer. Man, they should have Secret Service on their roof. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
What did I say what did I say at the top of the show?
Yeah,
It should have
yeah,
been a Secret Service contained on that roof.
absolutely.
see,
Yeah.
that goes to my question, Charles. Now, this is in Butler, PA. It looks like it's pretty secluded area. And they said that they had a CP in that building for the cat team. Okay, now they saying that they didn't have anybody on the roof of that building, but they had a CP in that building for the cat team. So I'm like, so how you got a CP in that building and ain't nobody on the roof at all? It just
Mhm.
it don't seem right, Charles. Well, how would that even be able to be happening?
People would get fired.
Yeah, that's not just a mishap. That's an utter fuck up. I don't. I mean, I'm not the biggest Trump fan. I might vote for him. I might not. But that's ridiculous, man. Nobody was up there.
I mean, really, man. This was a fucked up situation. The planning was poor, the execution was poor, and he almost took advantage of that shit.
Yeah, you
And the
already
thing,
said it.
Amanda
You all,
Seals, they sitting out there saying this, and it's some brothers too that's saying the same thing, man. Get up there like, oh, he missed. And what they fail to realize, Charles, is, and this is my opinion, but what they fail to realize is not only does Secret Service, number one, take care of all the dignitaries, our allies and our enemies. When
yeah.
they come over here, we protect them. Okay. They got details on every former president, every person's family that was in the presidential, even some diplomats that's here, senators get some detachments. And we sit here and say, oh man, it's cool, yeah, he should have got him. I'm like, do you know how that makes us look? Do you know how weak
Yeah.
that makes us look?
They're looking at that overseas. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And
It's sickening, man. It's sickening.
Charles already mentioned it. 1 more inch to the left. That's a headshot, man. He's gone.
Yeah, and what's crazy is when the AV team, and he's right up there now. So these about what 7 minutes into the speech. So they didn't go that long, and then he's up there. He says, "Pull that immigration thing up." And look, check this out. If that AV man was 10 seconds late pulling up that graphic,
Yeah.
he's dead. He's dead, man, because he would have never turned his face.
Man, this is what you call fate. It was not Trump. It was not Donald Trump's time. It was not his time. That was nothing but divine intervention. I don't care who doesn't like Trump. It wasn't time for him to go. Not yet.
They always say he be running his mouth. Running his mouth saved him this time.
Yeah. Right. Say he running his mouth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I'm about to drop off, but check it out. It's official. His Trump's running mate, his vice presidential running mate is JD Vance. He picked him. They made it official today.
Well, let's see what the DNC is going to do, because now they're going to have to really figure out what they want to do now. Because the delegates, I predict the DNC is going to be a conglomeration of the BET Awards, the Essence Festival.
Oh, wow. Soul Train Awards.
Oh, it's coming, bro. You got to know it's coming, bro.
You said they finna come with the shit show. Yeah.
Mark my words, and Kamala's going to be there. They can't get rid of her, because if they get rid of her, they put themselves in a DEI Chinese finger trap.
Wait, who is her? Who is her? Who are you referring to?
They cannot not try to elect Kamala. They can't put Gretchen Whitmer or what's the other dude, Gavin Newsom, over Kamala, because the DEI that they've set up is going to go insane.
Well, not just that, it's too late in the game. You know, she's vice president. Biden wins, she's the vice president. And if he goes down, I don't wish death on anybody, man, not even my greatest enemy. And I don't have a whole lot of enemies. But if he goes down, she's president. I might be scared to death. Wow. I mean, that's something to think about. Biden is 81 years old, man. He can barely stand up, you know?
Got a couple more plays for him, man. I think one of the plays is Biden gets up there clapping, man, has an infraction. Kamala saves him, and she takes over. But then she said, "I have no plans on being the president. You know, it's too much for me, and I'm just gonna hold it down until the end of the thing. And I have no plans on running, but I'm gonna save Biden." You know, she gets the chance to be the hero to pick Biden up after, you know, he might have an infraction or something.
Yeah. If something happens to Biden, again, I'm not wishing nothing on him, and she becomes president by default, dude, she doesn't know what to do, man. She's gonna have so many advisors surrounding her, and all this special counsel and all this shit, man. She don't know what to do, man. You know, she's a lawyer, she's an attorney.
The same people that's running the country now, okay, is gonna be the same people that's running it when she get in. Because obviously it's not Joe Biden that's running it. It's someone else that's running it. And those same people will be the ones that'll be running it even if she got in.
Yeah, counsel, advisors, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Hey, I don't know what happened to Charles Shadowstar, but I got to drop down. I'll catch you on the next live.
All right, brother.
Peace out.
All right, man. Thanks for coming up here. I'm going to go more in depth. I'm going to do some more research about this, everybody. And I'm going to give you part 2 of this. But till then, thank you for everybody supporting. Woo! And we out. Woo.